Hey, I'm Ben Matthews, consumer bankruptcy attorney, professional interpreter of financial chaos. Welcome back to the Debt Sucks podcast. Today, we're here for something almost nobody in the personal finance space is talking about. And I think that's because a lot of personal finance people are deeply in love with spreadsheets and mildly allergic to anything that sounds like self-reflection. I get it. I'm not naturally a feelings guy either. I like plans. I like numbers. I like things that can be fixed with a checklist and a deadline. But I spent years sitting across from people in some of the worst financial moments of their lives and some of the best recoveries too. And what I've seen over and over is this. The tactic is really the thing. The budget isn't the thing. The debt payoff method isn't the thing. Those tools matter, but they are not the foundation. Inside the Tru Wealth Playbook, there are 5 non-negotiables, 5 forms of stability that create real wealth. And today we're talking about non-negotiable number 5, quiet confidence. The kind of confidence that doesn't need applause, the kind built from control, consistency, and peace, the kind nobody can fake for very long. Now stick with me. Segment 1, what quiet confidence is not. Let's start with what quiet confidence is not, because I think the word confidence has been so thoroughly wrecked by the internet that we need to clear some wreckage before we can build anything useful. Quiet confidence is not the guy at the gym who narrates his own workout loud enough for the whole floor to hear. That's not confidence. That's a cry for help with good biceps. It's not the just believe in yourself bumper sticker energy. It's not vision boards. It's not saying, I am a money magnet into your bathroom mirror at 6 a.m. I don't care what that podcast told you. Affirmations without action are just talking to yourself, and your bank account doesn't care what you say to the mirror. Now, here's the one thing that's going to land for a lot of people listening right now. Quiet confidence is not white-knuckling through a bad financial situation while pretending everything is fine. That's not strength. That's just suffering in silence with better posture. Real quiet confidence doesn't perform. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't announce itself. It just operates. Segment 2, the real definition. Here's the definition I've landed on after watching a lot of people go through a lot of financial pain. Quiet confidence is the settled, internal knowledge that you can figure things out even when the current situation looks genuinely terrible, because you have a system that's working and designed to fit your real life without needing anyone else to validate that belief. Let me break that down word by word because each part matters. Settled, not anxious, not performing, not loud. Settled, like a guy who's been in the woods enough times that he doesn't panic when it gets dark. He knows he can make a fire. He's done it before. He may not love the situation, but he's not spiraling. Internal, you own it. It's not borrowed from your buddy's opinion. It's not rented from someone's motivational account online. It's not dependent on strangers clapping for you. It lives inside you. And it's there on the days the world is giving you absolutely nothing to work with. A system that's working. Hey, this is where a lot of people miss it. Confidence doesn't come from vibes. It comes from evidence. You've seen your plan reduce chaos. You've watched debt balances move. You've built a little buffer. You've handled problems better than you used to. That creates belief, designed to fit your real life. Not fantasy life. Not the life where nothing goes wrong. Not the life where you meal prep perfectly, never get tired, and suddenly love spreadsheets. Your real life. Kids, stress, busy week, unexpected expenses, low motivation Tuesdays. If your system only works in ideal conditions, it's not a system, it's a wish. And even when this current situation looks terrible, this is the whole game right here. Because confidence when things are going well isn't confidence, that's just momentum. Real confidence is what you bring when the numbers are bad, the month is hard, and nobody's handing you a trophy for showing up. Here's why people struggle with this, and I'm going to say something a little uncomfortable. We were taught, in 1,000 different ways, that financial struggle is a character flaw. That if you're in debt, you're weak, irresponsible, lazy, not trying hard enough. So when debt hits, and for most people at some point it does, we don't just have a money problem, we have a meaning problem. The debt becomes evidence for the story we're telling ourselves about who we are. And that story often does more damage than the interest rate. Segment 3, the story problem. Let me tell you about something I've seen more times than I can count. A guy comes in, smart guy, working hard. The financial situation is genuinely fixable. There is a real path forward, and I can see it clearly, but he can barely look me in the eye because he's been carrying this alone for so long that it has fused itself to his identity. He doesn't just have debt, he believes he is his debt. And what that does, practically, tactically, is it makes every financial decision harder. Because now every decision isn't just a decision, it's evidence. Evidence for or against the story. You buy something small and feel crushing guilt. You try to make a plan and quit 3 days in because it feels hopeless. You avoid looking at the numbers because looking at them feels like confirming your worst fears about yourself. The debt isn't the trap. The story is the trap. Quiet confidence is what interrupts that story. Not by pretending the problem isn't real. The problem is very real. But it separates the problem from the person. And it reminds you that the answer is not perfection. The answer is having a system built for real life, one designed to handle the unexpected and the hard. Because life is going to throw flat tires, layoffs, sick kids, broken appliances, slow months, bad moves, surprise bills, and seasons where you're tired of being responsible. That doesn't mean the system failed. That means the system needs to be built for reality. A good money plan doesn't collapse the first time life gets messy. It bends, it adjusts, it absorbs impact, it keeps you moving. And here's the sentence that changes everything. This is a hard situation. I am someone who handles hard situations. That's it. Both things true at once. The problem is real, and so is your capacity. Now, I know that sounds almost stupidly simple, and that's good. It should be simple. You've been overcomplicating your relationship with money for years. Let's try simple. Segment 4. Why it's non-negotiable. Here's why quiet confidence made the non-negotiables list and why it sits at number 5 as the capstone of the Tru Wealth Playbook. Because without it, the other 4 don't hold. The other 4 matter deeply. Money control, knowing where your money is going and having a plan. Energy wealth, protecting your energy, focus, and mental bandwidth. Time wealth, having margin, flexibility, and a life that isn't all recovery mode. Relationship stability, reducing money stress that poisons the people closest to you. These 4 build the structure, but quiet confidence is what helps you keep it standing when life gets violent. Because you can have a budget, you can have a debt plan, you can have accountability, momentum, apps, spreadsheets, and color-coded dreams. And then life will haul off and kick you square in the shins. Job loss, unexpected expense, car trouble, medical issue, one of those months where everything goes sideways at once. Without an internal foundation, many people slide right back into old patterns because old patterns are comfortable. Even when they're terrible, they're familiar. And familiar gets magnetic when you're scared. The people who actually get out of debt and stay out, and I've watched enough of them to say this confidently, usually are not the ones with the fanciest financial strategy. They're the ones who developed a durable sense of self that doesn't rise and fall with their account balance. Their confidence is quiet because it doesn't need the number to be good in order to exist. That's the version we're building toward. And before you think, this sounds suspiciously like therapy, stay with me. I'm not asking you to sit in a circle and discuss your inner child. I'm asking you to do something far more tactical. Change the evidence you collect about yourself. Every time you take a competent action, even a small one, you file a piece of evidence. I made the payment. I opened the statement. I had the hard conversation. I stuck to the plan this week. I adjusted instead of quitting. That evidence matters. Stack enough of those reps and your brain starts updating the story automatically. The action builds confidence. The confidence sustains the action. That's the loop we want. Segment 5, building it practically. Okay, 5 things. Let's go. 1, start with the first 4 non-negotiables because quiet confidence doesn't appear out of thin air. It gets built on structure. Money control. Know your numbers. Know where your money goes. Chaos hates clarity. Energy wealth. Protect your sleep, focus, and bandwidth. Exhausted people make expensive decisions. Time wealth. Create margin. If every minute is spoken for, every problem feels like a crisis. Relationship stability. Reduce money tension at home and build honest conversations with the people who matter. When those 4 improve, confidence starts growing naturally. 2, Separate fact from story. Get a piece of paper or your notes app, I don't care, and write down the financial facts. Balances, income, expenses, payments, those are facts. Everything else, I'm irresponsible, I always screw this up, I'll never get ahead, that's story. Stories can be rewritten. Facts just need a plan. 3, take one small, competent action every day. Not a huge heroic thing, just something. Make the call you've been avoiding. Look at the statement you've been dodging. Set up the transfer you keep postponing. Pack lunch twice this week. Cancel one dumb subscription. Each action is a vote for the identity you're building. Small votes compound. Ask anyone who's paid off debt. It usually didn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happened because they kept voting. 4, stop letting unqualified people grade your financial life. I say this with love. Your buddy who splits the bar tab into 47 Venmo requests and somehow still has opinions about wealth, he does not get a vote. Quiet confidence means your self-assessment comes from reality and progress, not random commentary from people in their own mess. And 5, put down the shame weight. And yes, I know that sounds soft, but here's the practical version. You cannot carry a 100-pound backpack of shame and climb the hill you need to climb. At some point, you set it down. Not to excuse bad decisions, not to dodge accountability, just because dead weight is dead weight. The people who win long-term usually aren't the ones who punish themselves into financial health. They're the ones who quietly decided they were worth rebuilding.
Hey, let's get real for a sec. The Debt Sucks plan, it's awesome. It works. But not everyone has the time or the patience to chip away at their financial Mount Everest. Maybe you're drowning right now, like creditors calling your grandma, paycheck gone before it lands, sleepless nights count as drowning. Sound familiar? Listen, you don't have to white-knuckle your way through this alone. Instead of spending years battling debt $1 at a time, I've got you. Bankruptcy isn't a failure, it's a fresh start. And sometimes hitting reset is the smartest thing you can do. At my law firm here in South Carolina, we take the time to listen to your story and help you figure out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you. No pressure, no judgment, just straight answers and real solutions. And if you don't live in South Carolina, don't worry. I can connect you with a trusted attorney in your state. Wherever you are, help is closer than you think. So if you're ready to stop the stress and start fresh, visit debtsucks.info to share a little about your situation or call my office for a free consultation. Let's find your path forward together, because sometimes you don't need a plan, you need a damn lifeline. Let me be that lifeline.
That's non-negotiable number 5, quiet confidence. Not loud, not borrowed, not performed, just the settled, durable knowledge that you are a person who can figure this out and the daily habit of proving it to yourself one small, confident action at a time. Here's what I want you to take away from today. The financial tools work. The Shit Happens Fund works. The plan works. But they work best when the person using them believes, even at a small level, that they're capable of running them. And that belief doesn't come from hype. It comes from reps, from evidence, from showing up again and again. That's the foundation, and now you know how to build it. So if today's episode hits somewhere real, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Seriously, the number of people walking around carrying financial stress they've never said out loud to another human being is staggering. You sharing this episode might be the thing that opens the door for someone. Next week, we're heading back into the trenches with something practical, useful, and probably a little irritating. Until then, adulting is hard. Debt makes it harder. See you next week.